I guess we can introduce ourselves. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to be watching this besides the sirs, but so I'm Rotten, and I'm casting a pretty much like an in-house Dominions game with the sirs. That'd be fun. I got Clowny here with me.
Also known as Autisticus Maximus, and I am a pretty long time, or not that long time in the scope of Dominions overall, but I started playing like early in Dominions 5, I think.
Yeah,
So I've been playing for a while. And I've played in some pretty advanced lobbies.
Yeah, I started in Dominion 6. Clowny is better at the game than me and more experienced. But I've come a ways. Anyways, we're casting this. We have 10 players here, middle age. I think we're both pretty familiar with a lot of these players, Clowny. I'd say there's quite a skill gap between the worst and the best player in these lobbies.
Yeah, you have more familiarity with the worst players, like the newer players. I don't know them very well, so I don't know exactly how new they are to the game. But we do have Jarkill in here, right?
No, Jarkill is not in here.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is a weird one, because Scruffy is actually a new player, but he's quickly become one of the best players, which is...
I'm not surprised at all.
Everyone expected that. He's like a long-term... But Scruffy is not in here either, but he is, interestingly, Hydra with Caelum, which is grand. So he kind of insists that, you know, he's kind of going to be like a sleeping head, but at the same time he's messaging me like all this stuff he's correcting from Grand and all this. It seems like he's not as sleepy.
Yeah,
as he's implying.
that does sound like he's not going to be very sleepy, and with that knowledge, I think that Caelum is pretty favored to win this game.
Really, Caelum? So I actually, I'll mention this, because Grant showed me this. He has an Awake Expander god, Dracolich, which is interesting because I talked to Scruffy, and he said, like, Scruffy and Jarkill seem to think the Dracolich is, like, not a good god, which is surprising, because I understand it to be, like, a very, like, staple Awake Expander.
Yeah, I think the Dracolich is a pretty staple expander. It's not one I've ever used myself, but I also don't do expanders very often.
Yeah,
I've seen the Dracolich in games I've played,
right.
in the hands of pretty good players.
Right. I've also seen it in advanced lobbies, and I I started with Hellblesses, but like Awake Expanders, after I ran it like a few times, especially on like Andromania Lion, like they get you such tempo, and they feel really good. I've never felt bad with an Awake Expander.
They're really good, but they do, like... So, it's worth noting that diplomacy in the sirs is very off-meta compared to diplomacy in most Dominions lobbies.
There's a lot to unpack there. That is
There is a lot to unpack when it comes to the diplomatic meta of the sirs, but basically, in a normal lobby, if you run an expander and you expand extremely well, you're running a risk of getting coalition.
Right.
Which I think people in the sirs are more likely to coalition you for personal grudge reasons than because you expanded well.
Okay, there's some personal grudges already. Like, okay, I'm being a bit interpretive here, but I'm pretty I'll talk about it. Remind me about the personal grudge thing later. Okay, so there is actually so much to say. First of all, let's just go ahead and map and see how we...
Yeah, I think we can introduce each nation and like talk a bit about who's playing them.
Oh, well, we do see the Dracolich, and he turn 1 expanded. And he got lucky. So, Scruffy was talking about... So, Scruffy tested expansion with the Dracolich, and he said it can die to 50 barbs. Which I was kind of surprised about. Because...
Why would you be surprised by that? Like,
because
most
it has
can die to 50
So, it has this breath, right, that causes fear?
Yeah.
And... I want to say I've seen it, like, just breathe...
Well, how much health and protection does it have?
I think it has 25 invul, right? Or 20 invul.
So
I mean,
basically
yeah,
that's 20 protection.
you can definitely
But
get
like
hit.
barbarians hit for more than 20, so it doesn't take very many rounds for you to die.
Right, but it also
And what is
has
the
a
bless?
fear 15. Oh, we don't know the bless yet, do we? It's just withering weapons. I think he wants an awake expander, but he also wanted scales, so he didn't take a hard bless.
Withering weapons, I think, is a strange bless to pick on Caelum.
Yeah, right. I don't know how you're supposed to use that at all, really.
Does it apply to ranged weapons? I think it doesn't.
They do have a ranged sacred, don't they?
Yeah, they have a ranged sacred, so I'm wondering if that's what they're thinking, but I
Warrior.
don't remember if withering weapons applies to ranged attacks.
I do not remember either. I don't see anyone use these Blizzard Warriors, though. They do have...
I have talked to Grand about having them in your toolkit, but like I coached Grand in a game a while ago. And I wouldn't use Blizzard Warriors as a regular because they're very expensive and they do pitiful damage, but they're a very powerful anti-thug weapon because
of the fatigue.
Yeah, that's armor negating fatigue damage.
Yeah, yeah, I've played Asphodel, and it's pretty much impossible to thug into Asphodel because of sleep binds.
Yeah, and Caelum can do the same thing. Of course, the Blizzard Warriors don't have wings, so it's hard to keep them up with your normal army. So they're a kind of niche tech option in certain matchups.
So,
but I don't think putting withering weapons on them makes sense. And can we look at Caelum's other sacred?
It's the Blizzard Warrior, which I think is just a prot tank, not very strong.
The Blizzard Warrior is
or Temple Guard, rather.
Yeah, the Temple Guard. Yeah, the Temple Guard is also not something I would put withering weapons on. And Caelum does not have a spammable recruit sacred summon. Like it has a bunch of mage summons that are sacred, but those are mages, and you wouldn't really want withering weapons on them either. So I'm wondering.
So interesting.
Wondering what the rationale there is.
I was talking. So generally, what Gran does, and I think he's kind of just gone towards this ever since you coached him, is he goes for Conj 5 and he uses Draconians and Air Gems to like pretty much replace his Scales troops with Draconians, right?
That is basically what I taught him to do, yeah.
I think he might be pivoting away from that, because he has been rushed a lot, and Conj 5 was a distant goal, and he kind of died before that happened, but I think maybe
and having an expander does help with...
Yeah, having the Awake Expander might help, might just be the answer for that, really.
Part of what I told him when I was coaching him was that, like, if you're playing Caelum, you are rush bait, and you need to rely on either an Awake God or good diplomacy to not get rushed. But as previously mentioned, diplomacy with the Zers is a bit different.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to rush you, there's not really much you can do. So I can see the rationale for the expander, but the withering weapons is a bit confusing for me.
Alright, yeah, that is... I'm gonna be honest, I don't think... I don't know, we'll see, I kind of expect it to not be useful, though, and just be like, he had Death Pass, so he had to pick something. I'm not sure what else he can pick for a Death Bless. I was saying that...
You could have just picked Undying to, like, make the Sacred Mages a bit tankier. He has no Sacred Mages, you'd have to actually make Sacred Shrouds to make that.
Right, and he doesn't get a huge discount, because he's not Ulm, right? He just gets... I'm not even sure if this nation can craft Iron Hammer. That's a good point. Are there Iron Hammer? Agartha. So Agartha can craft Iron Hammer.
Agartha can indeed do that. And Caelum can do it later in the game because of one of their national summons having Earth.
Okay. So he got a... Well, this isn't lucky, but it's like, he didn't die in his turn 1 blind expand. So
yeah, so I think there is, like, a case for blind expanding with a god like this, because most of the time it's going to work. If it doesn't work, then you are just shit out of luck and the game's over.
This
but
turn 1 expand is like you have to look into that, especially if you have trusties. It gets a lot more reliable. So that's what I was telling him. He showed me this god. It's just like Death 5, right? I was saying, like, I would have got Air 2 on this because you get like Wind of Death access, you get like a teleporter with Cloud Trapeze, you get
I fully agree with that. Like, if you had just some air on this guy, he would be a terror, but with just Death is kind of weak.
He would like scale really well into like the mid and late game with his armies as a big dick caster, and he could expand more reliably with Misform.
he does lose some. Like, I believe he loses 2 points in off
Right, he might lose his
paths, like
scale for
non-depth
that.
paths when he's at Dragon Farm. So maybe he does have air, and we just can't see it. Because have the players sent in their gods to you?
Yeah, he does this. You're right. He is a shapeshifter. He could be a master lich with air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's possible. The way it sounded like he probably didn't go it, and he didn't cast Misform here, which I feel like if he went air, he absolutely should have. Yeah, we have Trusty, so you can cast.
Oh yeah, okay. I was just wondering, like, well, there's no guarantee they have Mistform, but yeah, if we have Trustees, then there is.
Right, you can get that in Trusties.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like if they had air, they would have gone for the Mistform play, so... I think the Pure Death Expander is a bit of a blunder, but we'll see how it works.
Yeah, I also think that. So I think the big question is, who's next to Yis? Because this is the worst neighbor you can get in the game, I think. It's underwater, and it's played by Megapone.
Yeah, Megapon is almost certainly going to psychotically rush someone.
He's also gonna have heavy hand Diplo with all his neighbors. Like, he will want good borders with everyone.
So it appears that who's to his north, because he's got Ned to his east, Uruk to his west, and Naba to his south.
Naba also bind expanded, by the way, with a pretty cool looking god.
Firstborn of the Smokeless Flame is really cool, but I don't think it's very good.
Let's see what the bless is.
Firstborn of the Sacred, or of the Smokeless Flame, has the problem that a lot of thematic gods have, that it does things that your nation already does. And usually you want your god to do things that your nation isn't good at already.
Right, breaking into paths and path diversity is...
Yeah, and you can see this guy just has paths that Naba already does well.
Yeah, fire, air, glamour. He does have high glamour, so... That's obviously like way higher glamour than Naba would usually get.
What is their highest glam, actually? I think it might be 3.
It's... Naba has Sorginas, too, which are flying thugs, effectively.
Sorginas? No. Naba doesn't have Sorginas.
Oh, Malika, I mean. These are flyers, and they have, like, full... They can be, like, amazing thugs with, like, Fire Shield, Misform, and, like...
Yeah, Malikat are amazing thugs, amazing casters. They're just amazing in general.
Yeah, they're fucking fantastic.
So, Malikat can random up to... Like,
so
they have
1.1
random.
And then... But it's just... This is, like, 6 paths they can random, so it's...
Yeah, so... That means that he will... without this god, he would be able to craft Illusory Veils to boost his glamour.
Glamour boost.
And I think... Do they have...
Glamour cross.
Yeah, I think they have Earth Glamour on a non-cap only recruit. Like, it would be really rare to get that on Malika, but I think...
So they might have access... They probably have access to both boosters then, so...
Yeah, so... Naba can recruit the Sahir, which is a fire, air... Like, F2, A2, E1, G1 commander from any fort.
Right,
with a random.
With an Earth random. So they can get both the Glamour boosters.
Yeah, like, all you would have to do is empower a Sahir into G2 and use a Malika to craft an Illusory Veil.
Right,
and then an Earth random Sahir could craft
really,
the other
like,
booster.
Given him anything.
Yeah, so basically, I think that is not a good way to design your god on Naba.
It is an Awake Expander. Let's check out the Bless. Oh, he probably... Does he have the Bless here? Let me check. Do we know it? We do know it. So it's just Awe plus 3, but there might be some... No, it's an Awake God, so this is his absolute Bless. It's a very small Bless. Is this just a really expensive god?
It's a Titan, so of course it is.
Like, wow, so he's like...
And not only is it a Titan, look at all the shit it has. It's a permanently ethereal, unseen Titan.
Oh, unseen, yeah.
So you're paying a lot for those things, I believe.
Yeah, Spirit Sight does not negate unseen, does it?
Spirit Sight does, I think.
When wounded to manifest in another place, such as Glamour.
Yeah, it says right there, Spirit Sight.
Only
True Sight also affects it.
Unless, like, okay, I see, yeah, okay.
And Unseen is the reason why I fucking hate Naba.
Yeah, no, they have those units.
They can summon
under
Hints and
right?
Bends.
Adam Unseen. So
Yeah,
anyone
they
who
can
doesn't
summon...
have Spirit Sight and or magic weapons is probably just gonna get thrashed by Naba summons.
Or, well, and Dom 6 at least you can paint True Sight, which does help a lot with Naba.
I feel like this is definitely like a if you did not go Spirit Sight in this lobby, you probably blundered because you're against Naba and Agartha.
Yeah, like, you kind of
Oh,
have
Light
to pick
Vision.
Spirit Sight in your Bless if you are using Sacreds and there's a Naba in the game. Another reason I hate Naba.
Yeah, a lot of people hate Naba. Naba also has Glamour, so they're probably gonna have good research because they can craft one of the best research boosters in Glamour.
I would say that the Dreamstone is the best Glamour research booster in the game.
I think most people would agree with you, including myself.
Because, like, the Lantern comes online much later.
Yeah, and the Dreamstone's like, yeah. The difference between Construction 5 and 7 for research booster is huge.
Yeah.
Alright, so the people who spawn next to Yis, so Yis is recruiting, so they didn't have an Awake, which makes sense since they're like a Sacred Heavy Nation generally. So Yis spawned next to Naba. Naba, is this guy amphibious actually? I don't think he is.
He is not.
Yeah,
like,
so,
he's made of fire, my man.
I guess that's fair. So
There is actually an amphibian Gen variant, it's the Marid, which is a summon for Naba, but
so
all the other ones are not amphibious.
yeah, Naba spawning next to Yis sucks ass. I don't think Naba has a way to get in the water.
They do not, other than the aforementioned Marid. So they can thug underwater when they have Conjuration 8.
Jesus, that the way is. Let's see. So Uruk also spawned next to Yis. Quite far, 2-4 probs. Naba's 3 away. So Uruk, Naba, Nid. Oh wait, is Agartha next to Yis? Agartha is. So Agartha spawned...
So what's going to happen then is that Dots on Agartha is going to get deputized into trying to fight the underwater people, as he usually is.
Yeah, there's something... Also, holy shit, this is an enormous cave that Agartha spawned in.
That is a quite large cave.
What is this? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27... 29 provinces around?
And nobody's going to really be able to contest those, so Dots is looking to have a good game here.
I mean, if anyone... I think if they get, like if it's Pan with Low Light or Spirit Sight, Marignon or something, they can contest it, but it's also, like, if you go into here, you're pretty much Dots' war target now.
Yes, exactly. Because Dots as a player does not tolerate having people in his caves.
Yeah, I don't think Agartha should. Oh, he also turn 1 expanded. But he did it with... Oh wait, is this Oh, this is... Oh, it's Immortal God, yeah. So he... It's not really an expander.
It can be if you really juice it up. Let's look at what pets it has.
Oh, that's interesting. So, Earth 5, Death 4. Again, I don't think this god provides anything Agartha...
He is not working as an expander, which we know because this is not in his dominion. He is not blessed.
Right. So again, this god doesn't seem to provide anything that Agartha doesn't already have.
Yeah, and also, he doesn't have any cold resist on his people around his god, does he? Because this god has a chill aura.
Oh yeah. These guys don't have... But these guys are probably just gonna run forward.
Yeah, they're just walking straight ahead.
So this is a starting army, right? They have Dark Vision.
I think for Agartha, it's probably a pretty reasonable bet to just turn 1 expand with your army, because most cave indies are dog shit.
Yeah, but there are some really dangerous cave indies.
Yes, you can run into ghosts or dogs. Well, the which
Sinos would be a threat here too.
yes, as I just said, ghosts or dogs.
Okay.
And I think you can also get like huge barbarian armies underground.
Really? You can get barbs. He does have Sinos in his...
It does look. It looks like I'm wrong on that. I was confusing them with caveman. It's been a while since I played.
Cavemen are a problem.
But yeah, those are the only 3 pop types you would really have a problem with. Like ghost type, undead, and troglodytes. So there are quite a few actually.
So I understand Agartha. I believe if they put a temple on a drip cave, they can start recruiting alms.
Correct.
Right, but they also have this Sino province. What do you think you would... I mean, this is in his cap circle, so I feel like he'll... Oh, these are Sinos, though. He might not even be able to kill that. I guess if you had the option...
Leave it for too long. I think Agartha can recruit the troglodytes, which do a lot of damage at least. I don't really know what Agartha's like main tool against Sinos is. But he does have to clear those out pretty soon because Agartha does need resources.
So we haven't seen Agartha's Bless yet. We'll see it eventually. I'm curious. I haven't actually played Agartha. I played against Agartha all the time because, you know, Dots is always in lobbies, but what do you think you would... So personally, I think I'd prioritize getting a lab on a Sino province over getting a temple on a drip cave.
I also would.
Yeah,
like Sino shamans are some of the best indies in the game,
yeah,
and
specifically
them out ASAP.
They break them into like astral.
Yep, they break you into astral and nature.
Both huge.
Especially since they break you into N2 as well.
So this is like when I first started playing, I generally just thought astral was like kind of power gapping the rest of the paths, but I think I really underestimated Earth and Nature. I think those 2 paths are actually like really good, especially in the mid game.
Yeah, Death also is a very big path.
Yeah, Nature in particular, it has so many battlefield wides that are very like. It has Howl, which like fucks up astral communions and targeting for Soul Slay and all that. It has Relief, which just keeps you in the battle, and it's also like a counter Rigor Mortis if you combine it with anti-magic. It has Oaken Army, which I think is very strong, as long as you're not fighting into fire.
Well, Oaken Army is something you would only really cast if you don't have big Earth.
Right, because Earth has... they have the Construction 6 spell, like, what is it, Legions of Steel?
Well, I was thinking of...
Marble Army or something?
Marble Army, yeah.
I think that's like Alt 8, though. Oaken Army's like
it is
Alt
8.
7.
Yeah, true. Between those 2 attacks, I'm usually trying to scale instead of being at war.
Right, yeah.
I guess my playstyle means, like, I have never cast Oaken Army, just because of how I play the game.
Yeah, I mean...
Not because I don't use battlefield-wide buffs, but because I just attack up to 8 instead.
Let's see, how many expands did we get? We got Agartha expand, Naba expanded, both successful, Caelum expanded. I feel like this is probably a scout. Oh no, this was expansion, but it failed. Oh, you know what? Okay, no, hold on. So the Pan is Neo, which is... I mean, I think most... I'm gonna be honest about like the skill levels here, because I think most players here are self-aware. I think Neo is among the lower, if not the worst player in the lobby, but he's also like probably the least experienced.
He's definitely very inexperienced, and like I haven't played with Neo in a while, but he was completely new to the game.
Right.
Last time I was in a game with him.
When you coached him, that was his. I think that was literally his first game. I think he's only played like maybe 2 games since then. He's not like active.
Yeah, so he's not going to be very skilled at the game yet.
Right.
It does take a long time to learn. But I also don't hate the like attempted blind expand with the satyrs, because satyrs are fucking useless.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I thought... So Asphodel has this problem, right? Where its starting army is satyrs, and they create unrest in your capital. So you actually just want to suicide them as soon as possible.
Yeah, regular satyrs don't create unrest, but they're undisciplined and just terrible at fighting, so like, why not just risk it? Because you might get some shitty light infantry and win. But it just so happened that they went to Divineman, which hard cancel them instead.
Yeah, Vineman will not route, so that is...
They're also pierce resistant.
Yep. I mean...
But I don't hate the attempt.
Right, this is
I
a
think
failed
I would do this
expansion,
as well.
but it's really not a big loss or anything.
Unless the commander routed to his death, which I don't think he did.
I think it would have showed, like, or maybe it doesn't show that for us, actually. It only shows
I think it doesn't show that for us, but we can see satyrs on the capital, and recruiting those would be a blunder, so...
Right.
We can assume that those are retreated satyrs.
Let's see the commander's morale. Wait, okay. Who profited anyways? Only 5 players profited the first turn.
Did we get any good profit names?
Let's check it out. Anzim Gemna's Heartless.
That sounds like a Weeb reference to me.
Who is this? This is Chicken on Pythium, who's probably going to go for like Arcane Decree, Grand Communion memes. Which I personally, like, Pythium would be like #1 on my hit list, but I'm not sure how this lobby feels about it.
I would also want to eliminate Pythium, but Pythium is not weak at any stage of stage of the game.
That's a huge problem with Pythia. Is like they scale incredibly hard, but they're also never weak because of the Holy Communions.
Yeah, they have so many options in the early game. Like, if they're getting rushed, they can recruit high protection elites if protection counters what they're facing. And if they need chaff, they can just recruit insane amounts of gladiators.
Yeah, the Retiaris are absurd. They're 10 gold. I think like one. We can look at them real quick. This like nation is, you know, they have a strategy where they can like triple expand turn 1 with Retiaris. It's.
I was vaguely aware of that. Yeah, those are incredibly nuts.
1 resource. This is unbelievable unit. This. Of course, like, I think if it does any damage or takes any damage, it retires, so you won't see it again.
That is correct.
So you don't run it into PD dumps. Instead, you keep it on PD dumps, generally, I think. But
it's like a really good way to convert gold into fighting power for, like, a pitched battle.
It's a net, so it can fight into cavalry really well, and has a 22 damage trident, which, you know, there's not much that can withstand that. And it's, you know, its stats are close to an elites. They're definitely above average, like 11, 12 for attack and defense. Like this is a deadly unit in mass with like elite morale as well. So like Pythium's it can get like hundreds of these within like the first year or two. So
you can get hundreds of these in a single turn if it wants to.
You have to fight this into Holy Communions. It's Pythium's definitely hard to snuff out, but it's like I would coalition this nation as soon as possible.
Coalitioning them is also often like a bit difficult. Like, it's difficult to stay on good terms with your allies if you try to coalition Pythium because of the value of the capital. Pythium is the only nation in the game with like an unusually good capital.
Really?
Yes, take a look at their cap-only sites. Well, you could count ends as unusually good in other ways, but, like, Pythium, I believe, gets 8 gem income from the capital. Did Pythium fight any battles this turn? I thought it would be easy to find them. They did not. It is so disorienting when you zoom that far in this game.
Rignon, yes, Naba. I've definitely scrolled past them. There they are. So, what is your recruiting? Legionnaire supplies starting armies, Bellites. So yeah.
Take a look at that Cathedral of the Spheres, since you've apparently never noticed.
5 astral.
Yes. Like, a normal middle-aged nation just has 5 total, So Pythium gets 3 more gem income from the very first turn. And also just a frankly insane amount of pearls.
Yeah, and their cap onlys are amazing.
Yeah, Archtheurgs are fantastic mages.
Yeah, this is also something they have. They have water elementals. And these size 7 water elementals can wade through their front line. And that will also just kill Thug. So, like,
The only elemental they're missing is Earth. So Pythium has a lot of options.
Yeah, they're very hard to beat. But I think, like, if you want to kill them, like, early, mid-game...
Yeah, you definitely can rush them down.
Yeah, I think rushing them is the way you want to kill them. You don't want to fight them later.
And Nid, at least, would have a pretty good matchup into rushing them down early.
So, about Nid. So, Nid is Weredrake. Pythium is Chicken. I've talked to probably half the players have consulted me when, like, either making God or just game plan or something in some form. A Weredrake? So Weredrake, he plays weirdly, right? He usually goes into a game with a specific goal. And I think he's made his goal this game is to use Nid's, they have, like, Astral Death Crosspath, right? He wants to use that to summon Ether Warriors and kill Yis.
That's an interesting, if somewhat suboptimal game plan. Are Ether Warriors even amphibious?
They are amphibious. They're ethereal, and they have Moonblades.
Yeah. Problem is they are just so expensive.
They're very expensive. I think it's 90 gems for the spell in vanilla, which we are in vanilla, we're not in comfies. It's discounted.
Dom 6 did add a cheaper spell to summon some Ether Warriors, didn't it?
So yeah, you can. There's like a 15 astral spell to summon 3 Ether Warriors, but if you use the gate, I think that's like Conjuration 4 or 5. If you use the gate, which is Conjuration 6,
is it only 6, really?
Yeah, it's pretty relatively low actually. Yeah. If you use that to summon, it's an Astral Death Crosspath spell. If you summon an Ether Gate, it costs 90 astral, but the more you put into it, it'll increase the magic skills of the province you cast it in, I think by like 3 magic or something. Usually you just end up with like a magic 5 province. But it looks like
it spawns like an enchantment now.
Yeah,
I don't think it did that in Dom 5.
Right, and the thing is, you can overcast it. So if you put 100 astral, you get it for 10 turns, and for those 10 turns, when you cast the Ether Warriors spell, instead of getting 3 Ether Warriors, you get 5.
Yeah, I've never really given Ethergate a second glance, because I think in Dom 5 it didn't have that effect. I can see making some kind of plan around it. I still don't think it's very good, but it's something.
Specifically against Relay, I think it's considered like a huge counter to Relay, because Ether Warriors have high MR. I think their base MR is like 16, 15, but also they have magic power. So in magic scales, they get +1 MR for every magic scale. They're also ethereal, and they have a Moonblade. They're fully amphibious. They have a Moonblade. The Moonblade does, you know about Moonblade. It does armor negating damage.
Yeah, of course I know about
to magic beings. So it destroys water elementals who don't have magic attacks, so they'll hit less against Ether Warriors, and Ether Warriors will like absolutely cleave them with
Ether Warriors will also cleave all of middle-aged Relay's free spawn.
The Lithids too.
And any Illithids.
So it's
although by the point that they reach your Illithids, you've already lost the battle.
So you know about Shinuyama's strategy, right? Like how they have like a ranged longbows, and they kind of use mages to buff the living hell out of the longbowmen.
Yes, I have in fact won a game as Shinuyama.
Right. So Relay actually has the same strategy with Mind Blasters, where they kind of just use the ranged attack as an opportunity to like buff the ever-living fuck out of the unit, right?
Oh, I've never seen Relay do that, because like the Illithid's melee stats are kind of bad. Even the Illithid soldier.
Their attack and defense is bad, but their attack if like with quickness, I think.
Yeah, they have fat damage. They just have such low skill, and they cost so much that it's not something I would usually consider.
I think it's like really good, and I've seen it used, and I've used it against like Asphodel and Oceania. I think it's exceptional. Like if you can get quickness, iron skin, you know, body ethereal on them, they become like really.
Yeah, I can see that working actually. I've never thought of it, but yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I feel like it's kind of funny. I think the craziest thing with these units that are ranged is not that they're actually ranged. It's that it's the fact that they'll just stay still 10 turns for buffs, unlike any other type of unit, right?
Yeah. Like that is a weird way that ranged units are
yeah,
favored
I know,
in this
right?
game.
It's like one of those unexpected.
Like shooting things fucking sucks unless you're a giant or half giant with a longbow or better.
Right.
But standing still for buffs is great.
So yeah, I think Drake, probably against his own interest, is going to go for this Ether Warrior strategy and attack Yis. Maybe he'll get distracted by, like, you know, someone overexpanding into him or something. He's a vengeful person. And Gran did at him. So that could be the basis for a war.
I'll have to be quiet for a sec.
Do you want me to wait, or?
Sorry about that. You can just cut that out of the video.
I'm not editing this. That's too much effort.
Weak.
Too weak. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We got 4 expansions, 1 failed, but it's not like a huge failure. It's not a big deal. Kind of almost expected. Let's look at the messages now. So this is Neo. Throw my dudes out randomly since they're pretty useless for the first turn. Also plans to get quick forts first for protection, and then try to get focused on my stealth ambush. That makes sense. He's probably talking about centaurs here, which, like...
Yeah, those are quite a good stealth ambush unit. I've actually, as Pangaya, I have prosecuted an entire war with someone I did not neighbor. Because you can do that.
That makes... I feel like Pan is the premier elf nation in MA. Like, these centaurs are insane. The fact that they berserk, they have lances, they have so much HP and strength, they're absolutely...
Like, in that game, I actually fully annexed someone I didn't border because I could just sneak through a third party.
I think...
And I just elfed them.
I need to check this, though. I think they might be faster than normal. So their map move is 20. Oh, okay, so I think... It's a Centaur Warrior map move. And then, yeah, so it's... No, I'm looking at combat speed right now. 29 combat speed. 29... I think they're actually faster than human cavalry. So check out Rignon. Yeah, 20. So...
It's because they're not heavily armored.
Right, yeah. And... I mean, you know, it might be something that they, like... You know, their mount is their lower half. But, so their lances will hit first, as I understand it, since they have much higher combat speed.
Not necessarily, but usually.
Right. Which...
I think it's a probabilistic thing.
Right. But they don't have heavy lances, I believe. So they don't have a heavy... Yeah, they don't have like a full, uncapped charge bonus. Still,
wait, don't they? I believe they do.
It's a bronze lance. I think it says no...
It's not a light lance. Yeah, limited to half the strength of the charging unit.
The bonus... Yeah, this is capped.
Is that not a full lance?
We can look at the Rignon heavy
lance.
lance.
What does a half lance look like? It's been a while since I played this game.
Right. It says heavy weapon. Used when charging have that...
Okay, yeah, so...
Instead of halves.
Yeah, you're right, it is a light lance.
Right, it is a light lance. So... It won't do as much damage.
But what is half the strength of a centaur? That's still a lot, I think. They're very strong.
Right. Let's check it out. Centaur. 7.
Yeah, so they have a 17 damage attack that does an extra 7 damage. And that's only if they haven't berserked. Like, they're berserker 5 or something crazy like that, right?
By the way, it's 2.
Oh, 2. The 5 is on the white ones.
Berserk is so good for expanding, too.
Berserk is great in general.
Yeah. Berserk is...
As long as it's not on your mages. I had someone cast, like, the spell that gives Berserk to all of your units against me in that Oceania game, MA Oceania game that I ended up winning. And the main result of him casting that spell was that he took 100% casualties instead of like 50.
Rip. Yeah.
You really don't want your casters to berserk.
Oh, this is something that happened. That reminds me of the casualties in that. So I was fighting Asphodel, like Relay versus Asphodel, and I was doing the kind of buff ball Illithid strategy where I had a bunch of slave mages buffing Illithids. And I was able to buff them for even longer because I had anti-magic and relief on, so they would just stay back forever. And I was gonna cast Solar Brilliance because I was dealing with Asphodel, right? But Weredrake Asphodel doesn't have assassins. Pan does, I believe. They have the
Asphodel? Does it not?
No,
I thought it had a couple.
I don't think it, because it doesn't have these dryads that Pan does, which I believe.
I thought they had assassins but not seducers, but I could be wrong. I hate Asphodel, so I always ban them.
Yeah, I had to fight Asphodel. It was miserable. Very hard nation to fight.
Yeah, you're right. Carrion ladies are not assassins.
Right. So
Black dryads also are not.
You got an indie assassin, which out of my 50 mage core, it assassinated my Solar Brilliance caster, and that was despair.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely devastating.
Yeah, but luckily my Lithids were buffed like crazy and had quickness on, so my whole army routed, killed half his army, and pretty much most of my army survived. So it was completely fine, completely fine. But
that's also the throne of the moon you have selected here. I think that's going to be the center point of some early wars.
Really, do you like this throne? It doesn't seem...
Any throne that gives you growth is quite good.
Growth 1 is good, yeah.
And it just gives you 3 precision as a nice bonus. If I were any of the players near it, I would start wars over that. But that's also in part because of, the type of... I usually play scale, so I usually have 2 growth. And the more growth you have, the more an additional point is worth.
Once you get to growth 4, don't your provinces start turning into forest?
It... Actually, growth 4, if you have order, they turn into farms instead.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Oh, that's actually really good.
At growth 5, all of your plains become forests, and at growth 4, if you have turmoil, they also become forests, but if you have order, they become farms.
We can look at the thrones later, I got distracted. But yeah, he's throwing away his troops. We speculated that's what it was.
Yeah, as we speculated. And as I said, I don't hate that move. I think that's basically what you should do with Pangaea, because your satyrs are a liability once you get real units.
I fought Neo's Pan before, and I felt he made he didn't elf me. He just warred with doom stacks, and he really should.
I actually think that what I did in my Pangaea game is something that you should strongly consider whenever you're playing Pangaea, because your neighbors are going to expect you to elf them. Some third party through your neighbors are not going to expect it at all.
That is so fucking awful. Can you imagine being the person dealing with getting elfed by
Exactly, just imagine you're already you're doing Diplo with your neighbors, you've not really talked to Pangaea because they're far away. And then suddenly on turn 25 or whatever, your nation doesn't exist. You only have your forts. And if your neighbor Pangaea, you expect this and you take measures against it, but
Jesus.
If you don't neighbor them,
that is some elf thinking. That is, you've delved too far into the elf brain. I don't think you can come back from that one.
I have been known to elf people on occasion.
Oh yeah, I remember you elfed Swan in a game too. That was
I did elf Swan as EA Ulm.
Jesus. I saw the light leave his eyes when that happened when I was talking to him in Diplo, because I was trying to get him to kill EA Relay. Alright, so a message from Pythium. So the general plan right now is just go full scales and try to research form. I'm not rushing some bullshit like some summon or whatever. I can rely on Body Ethereal, Emerald Guard, and Lizards for the foreseeable future. So short-term goal is that. Long-term is Wish Engine. We'll see how life goes, but here's hoping I'm not next to some kind of helpless psychopath or awake.
That is not a bet you want to take in a game with the Zers.
Right, exactly. There's There are so many psychopaths in this game, and this is...
Yeah, like, you are going to be next to a psychopath and most certainly also a Hellblessed. Usually the same person.
And I think a lot of people in this lobby will probably just consider Chicken a player as food. There's a lot of, like, pre-made relationships and, like, ideas of... People know each other in this lobby.
Yeah, there's a lot of reputation involved in these.
Right, exactly. Long term is Wish Engine. So this is pretty much a basic, it's like a greedy Pythium, but, you know, they love Wish Engine late game.
Yeah, I think greedy is how you should play Pythium.
Yeah, they're going for, looks like he's probably going to Scales, which I think Pythium pretty much always goes Scales.
There is no Bless Pythium build.
Right, their Battle Vestals suck ass, no one uses
Yeah, we can't see his Bless at all, right?
I don't think we can, because he
On
didn't
turn 2?
go in a Wake Expander.
Because basically there are 3 things that Pythium values in the Bless, and those are Unaging, Arcane Finesse, and Farcaster. Anything else is whatever.
Unaging, very common on Pythium Bless.
I think Unaging is mandatory, and you have made a serious mistake if you don't take it on Pythium, so we'll see if Chicken has done that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because Unaging makes the difference between your casters dying of old age and your casters not dying of old age, which is a big thing on your cap-only Sacreds.
Alright, let's see Marignon. This is Kodo. Relatively new player, but he's been playing like crazy on like Neo. He's like playing 5 or 6 games.
I don't know him personally or as a player, so you'll have to fill me in here.
Let's read this and I'll tell you more about him. I am too cowardly to blind expand turn 1 with this army. I will expand turn 2 with fire enchanted crossbows and am aiming to reach critical mass of crossbows while buying whatever sacreds I can afford. When my Incarnate Bless comes online, the real fun can begin. I will take over as much of the map as possible and establish force as quickly as possible.
How is he planning to have fire enchanted crossbows on round 2?
I'll expand turn 2. Fire and maybe recruit a fire mage turn 1, I guess. Or maybe his god. No, he says he has Incarnate Bless.
Yeah, we don't see Marignon's god awake, right?
Let's check it out. I think he's over.
I know we scrolled over him multiple times while looking for Pythium.
Yep. There he is. Army Pierce, the Witch Hunter.
Yeah, there's no god there.
Probably a Witch Hunter is what he's gonna buff him with.
What tech level do you get, like, the small flaming arrows on?
I think it's only... I want to say Enchantment 2.
You can take a look right now, like, you can open the tech menu, can't you? You are... Yeah, there you go. It's an enchantment somewhere. Yeah, it's enchantment 2, Ignite Arrows.
Ignite Arrows, yeah. So he probably went for that.
I don't think that's a particularly good way to expand his Marignon. Like, even no Bless, your Knights of the Chalice can expand really well.
Right, I think only like 3-5 of these could probably take out a lot of probs.
Yeah, and
Your
like,
try for sure.
Crossbows are going to hurt your own melee guys, and they shoot slowly, so like, having only a few crossbowmen isn't very good.
He recruited Flagellants.
Which I would also qualify as a blunder, unless he has,
Oh, wait, you know what? I think he told me what his bless was.
Does it involve explosions? Or
No, it's,
Blood Vengeance?
Unbearable Splendor.
Okay, based. I like it.
So he's doing the Flagellant Unbearable Splendor spam, but I think he's also planning on having a Knight Core. It sounds
Yeah,
like...
you would want to have Knights with that.
It sounds like he's going... I mean, his scales seem awful, like Heat 2, Death 1, Misfortune 2.
And notably no production, which does make it hard to produce this heavily
It does
armored
have
units.
the fort, like any Fort Sacreds, but that will affect production.
Yeah, you basically can't lean into those sacreds very much unless you have production.
You're right. Pythium just gets a random 8 gems for their cap, huh?
Yeah, Pythium is the only nation in the game that just gets extra gems.
That's crazy. Alright,
It also makes them even more rush bait though. Like, you really want to rush Pythium because if you get that capital, you are very happy. But as I mentioned earlier, that kind of tends to damage alliances against Pythium early because whoever gets the capital will be so strong that like, you really don't want anyone else to get the capital. So, but like, your ally against Pythium also doesn't want you to get it.
Yeah, this...
So there are a lot of disagreements about whom to award the Pythian capital to.
Coalitions are hard to stick together. They frequently turn against each other.
Coalitions usually achieve their objective outside of Source lobbies. In Source lobbies, I would not trust a coalition.
Let's see. So Maringron, it looks like they're probably not rushing, actually. They have an Incarnate Bless, and then they want to set up infrastructure and then fight, which... Kodo, I feel... I mean, he's gained more experience, but the first few times I've seen him, he's been like... He's wanted to, like, attack people year one.
So he's an inexperienced player on a fairly weak nation, so it doesn't look too good for him. Marignon is weak in the sense that it's good at the one thing it does, but it only does one thing.
Right. I think
like, you have two
people...
paths that you can get high.
Right, you fire an Astral.
Yeah, you don't go further than that. You can get a little bit of air. So, like, your magic diversity is, like, awful. And fire as a path just isn't very good. And in Dom 6, your Sacred Cavalry is undermined by having normal horses.
They actually don't get as high Astral as I thought, only S2.
No, they're not very good at Astral either. Like, they have really high fire and nothing else. They're good at preaching. Like, they have extra bonuses to preaching, and they actually can recruit sacreds in any province, not just any fort. Flagellants are any province with a temple.
Interesting. So, I think I want to say you and Jarkill. I understand. I feel like Marignon has actually been climbing tiers recently, but that might just be because people have like started rating Astral nations even higher. Like Pythium is like considered the best nation in MA right now.
Well, so I would like you to take a look at Marignon's maid roster, and I expect that you'll be able to see the problem there.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of path diversity. I'm aware of that.
No, I'm not just talking about the path diversity, specifically within the group in regards to Astral.
Do you think they have an S1 mage, don't they?
Yes, now look at the price tag for that S1 mage.
The Witch Hunter can't be the only... They just have like a...
That's their communion slave.
Oh, I thought they just had a standard S1 mage.
They don't. They don't have just an S1, nothing else. So your only option for fueling communions is a 260 gold mage. And he's still only S1, so you are extremely weak to magic duel as Marignon. Because if you're matched up against any other Astral nation, they are going to be able to, like, gold efficiently magic duel you.
It doesn't have randoms either.
No. So you are just so awfully weak to magic duel. Like, imagine a matchup between Marignon, even, like, say for the sake of argument that we have Marignon and Uruk in this game, both are in this game. Imagine they're both playing optimally. What can Marignon do? They're completely, utterly hopeless against Uruk.
Just Pythium has 100 gold S1s. These could magic duel easily.
Uruk's Naditus are even cheaper than 100.
What's up?
Uruk has the Naditu, which is 70, I believe.
So Uruk is played by Swan.
Yeah, they have a lot of mages.
I think, but they all... Oh, here it is.
Oh, it's 100 as well. I think they actually made the Naditu and the Dracolich more expensive when they introduced Grand Communions. But yeah, it is surprising they're the same price.
Yeah, like...
Naditus are strictly better than Dracolites.
Yeah, like, what? Usually, your price increases with your size, but not in this case. That's... Okay, wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Uruk has a really good mage core.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to finagle them to make it work, but you can do it.
I really like this astral nature with like air, water. Like these are.
Well, there's not much. There's not much nature in there. It's hard to get high nature.
Right,
it's hard to get high anything
10%.
other than astral and Uruk.
Yeah, but they have communions for like battlefield wides at least.
They do.
Oh, and this guy can get nature too for the booster, Thistle Mace.
And we can talk about Uruk in general, because I think Uruk is a very strong nation, and Swan is a competent player.
Right, so the best players in this lobby, I think most people will agree, are Hive and Swan.
Not Scruffy?
What's up? Oh, Scruffy?
Not Scruffy?
Oh, yeah,
I thought Scruffy
he's up
would
there,
count.
but he's Hydra with Gran, and allegedly, you know...
Yeah, I see.
Allegedly, he's not gonna be that involved. We'll see, we'll see.
But yeah, Swan is a fairly experienced player, and he's on a really good nation. And in a similar vein to Pythium, like, Uruk scales incredibly well,
Yeah.
but they don't have any obvious weaknesses at any stage of the game.
Yeah, these
like
Iron
no
Warriors,
major ones.
I think these are their go-to scales recruits once they get around
You-
to mid-game-ish.
You can also look at their archers. Specifically the heavy archer.
Yeah. Size 5, yeah.
He has a 16 damage longbow, but like if you're doing buff strats like you were talking about with Relay, you can do that with these guys.
These do have daggers, so they will get repelled, though.
Yeah, and also they do have awful skill, but like Enkidus are just strong, so you can get places with this. And even if you're actually using the bow, you can do 18 damage at 45 range.
Yeah, this is an absolutely good option for buff bowing.
Yeah, and just like the Iron Warrior also has a helmet, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
And a shield.
So you can use both range and melee, and both of them are good.
Yeah, and these are berserkers, so they'll stay on the battlefield, and they're also great expanders.
Yeah, like Uruk has a lot of great options for expansion, both because it has these good like scale strips with decent armor. Like you're gonna lose some to attrition, but it's not gonna be that bad. And you can, I believe Uruk can still foreign recruit like naked Enkidus or like low protection Enkidus. Yeah, these guys.
Yep.
You can get those in any province. So as you expand, you just like collect some extra Enkidu warriors. And you can basically convert all of your gold into expansion potential on this nation.
Yep. They also, I think these guys actually are worth mentioning, just because they have trample and they can backdoor.
Yeah, like they're very expensive.
Against humans, these are like actually, they have a very good use case.
Yeah, they are fairly niche, but there is definitely use case, especially since Uruk can cast Body Ethereal, which is the classic way to use these guys.
70 HP with 15 protection, fear. Has a lot of attacks, but trample is the most notable thing. So yeah, like I would love to see just maybe like 5 to 10 of these on the side set to attack rear and like ruin a mage core. Just trample right through a front line.
Well, if you see it coming, you do take measures to avoid that happening. Whom does Uruk neighbor?
Right here. So they technically do neighbor Yis, but kind of a distant neighbor.
And
who else do they neighbor?
Marignan is not that far.
Marignon's not that far, but Marignon said they're not really planning on rushing people. They're waiting for their blast to come online, it seems like.
I was thinking more that Uruk would want to invade someone else, just because they have a pretty strong early game with just off of having high health and high strength.
Hives up here is in. These are not fantastic neighbors to have. In Marignon.
But he has a lot of room, so I think we can see a pretty strong expansion from Swan.
Yeah. He does have a lot of space. Oh, he also neighbors Pan. Okay.
He doesn't have a terrible matchup against any of them.
Two...
Well, except potentially End. Like, End is an extremely high variance nation, so we can talk about them as well.
I'm interested in Hive's Bless, because he's gone Unbearable Splendor as Pyrene and End before. He might just be in love with that Bless and go it again. Also, he got Mercs. 30 Bandar Warriors.
That's a good start for him. I could see him taking Unbearable Splendor, but if he does do that on End, then he will have no way to deal high damage in the early game, which I think he wants.
Got a Sage turn 1. I'm kind of expecting Body Ethereal to help with expansion from him.
With the monkeys, he doesn't even need Body Ethereal, I don't think.
He also has a... He seems like he's going to Grease build like Pythium. He has Luck, High Order, Magic 2. Maybe not too much.
We don't know if he has High Order.
Oh yeah, because of his cap, you're right.
Yeah, End's capital is locked to 3 Order.
Right.
You actually, like, there are actually good reasons to take Turmoil on End. Both because it's free on your cap, and because, like, more Turmoil, I believe, gives you more slaves.
Huh.
And I haven't kept up with the development of the End meta since they added the ability to get, like, heretic mages when you're, like, recruiting heretics. Do you know how that mechanic works?
I know. Are you asking how heretic works or how the recruitment of them works?
End's heretics, specifically, and how they recruit them. So End has a mechanic, you can, look at their Bishop Vicomtes, for example, or their Viceroy Primates, both of them can do it. They have Lord of the Heathen Tribes, which works like slave recruitment, except they're not slaves. They're like barbarians. And they have a few different barbarian pop types, and mostly they're not very useful, but like you can get a decently high number of them, although they do cause unrest.
Alright, so this is like kind of like a summon they can use a mage turn to do.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like you know how slave recruitment works in general, like with Phlegra, for example?
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, you can you spend the mage turn to free spawn slaves.
Right, yeah.
Except in End's case, they are free spawning barbarian tribesmen that cause unrest, but as of a few months ago, End can recruit mages as part of that.
Wait, what?
And yeah, you can free spawn mages.
That? Oh, wow. And they have, I think these are recruit any temple, right? So they just spam temples out and recruit.
Yes, but they do cost multiple commander points.
Yeah, they're also
expensive. Yeah, Hive might be going for like a barbarian build, so to speak, because I'm trying to find all of the like barbarian shamans, but I don't necessarily remember the names of all the tribes. The Fomapori Shaman Chief is N1B1 with a 50% SDB random. Like, that's an example of a free mage you can get from that. Or, it's not free, he has an upkeep cost, but...
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And most of the units that you get are pretty terrible, but some of them can be good. And
I mean, do they have upkeep costs? They're slaves, so...
The units have upkeep costs, they're not slaves.
Ooh. Wait, whoa. They just have straight up upkeep costs, huh?
Yeah. And the upkeep cost is also pretty high.
Oof.
Like, for the Fomapori Warrior, who is a dual-wielding human with 12 health and 6 protection and Berserker 3, he has a base gold cost of 15. So you run up pretty high upkeep costs. So you want to get rid of them pretty fast. And it takes a while to get enough of like the guys who can actually recruit them, and also you lose population doing this, so it is hard to make it work.
Right.
But it's something End can do, and it's not as bad as it used to be, because you can get these free mages.
Right. It's something to do with those
those bishops, those holy. They can't really do it because like they can't research, can they?
Nope.
Yeah, so
Their job is to collect heathen tribes and tax us.
right.
And like, if you're really greedy, you like building a lot of them because they reduce unrest. And reducing unrest as a blood hunting nation is fantastic. Because the unrest reduction from the reduce unrest ability applies before you get money from the province. And it's the only thing that does that. Order scales don't. So say you have 10 of those guys, you're reducing unrest by 30, so if you cause 30 unrest, then you will still be getting full income from the province, whereas if you didn't have those guys, you would be losing more than half of the income, I think, at 30 unrest.
In gets access to blood. I think they have oh yeah.
Yes.
Chairman chiefs.
Well, they have more than that.
They have
I think the in UI is a bit weird. Can you click the... You see on the right there? The terrain types? Yeah. Can you click those to get... Okay, no. You can. Yeah, so Int has a lot more units than show here. Because they have basically a unique civilization for
each terrain type. They build a fort.
Not each terrain type, they get fuck all in swamps. And some terrain types can go either way. But they have Sinos. So they can have Blood, Nature, Death shamans from the Sino tribes. Yep. That's also where they get their hard damage units. And I mentioned this in passing earlier, but if you look at all of their units here, this is all they can recruit from the capital.
Right. So they're all sacred, so they're restricted by Dominion.
Yes, but also not by Dominion. Ind gets a sacred recruitment point for every temple they build.
Right. Yeah. They're such a unique nation. They also have
they are a very unique nation.
These units also auto bless, which is not a mechanic I knew existed.
But as I was saying, they don't do very much damage. So if Hive has gone with Unbearable Splendor and no strength or anything like that, he's going to struggle to do damage to anything tanky. And on Ind, that's a real problem. Yes, you have Sinos who can do a lot of damage, but you have to reach them first.
Yeah. I think
last if game you mouse over the terrain types, it'll tell you where the Sinos can spawn. I think it's mountains or...
Yeah, it's mountains.
Yeah, mountains,
Cave
highlands.
Or highland, and some mountains. Okay.
Yeah, some mountains. And it's also... I think the farm type also can be in mountains, and it's determined at the start of the game whether mountains will be completely useless midgets or awesome Sinos.
We have a lot of astral. We have Ind, Pythium, Uruk, and Marignon. I think for the notable astral nations, and we can look at the names. I think Neo is a bit too on the nose. It seems obvious he went a monolith, unless it's a false flag. Super.
Yeah, I don't think he would false flag it, so that's probably a monolith.
If he went a monolith, I hope he went Nature 5 to get Mother Oak ASAP. Common pan thing.
And our Pythium is some Weeb reference.
Yep. Anna of Green Gartha, which I don't get this. I was assuming maybe nature paths, but his god did not have nature paths. Let me skill Wog. Oh yeah, Swan told me his strategy, but in the interest of being able to release the tapes a bit, I'm thinking I want to do...
Well, you've already said things that would...
Right, yeah.
So you would have to edit the video, so...
Swan's strategy's a bit... It'll probably come out turn 20. We'll see. So we got Wogmaster Hive, Kangaroo Jack. It's also... His god is definitely not a kangaroo, it's actually a dragon. Nid is a skill-based nation. Show us the skill. Megapone's last ride. So Megapone has said this is his last game, but he's probably gonna become an addict after this one.
Seems likely.
I think he's gonna quit, but you know, I'm just gonna go with the addict route.
Let's look at the terrain types around N.
Where is... There they are. They have
So they have a lot of forest, but...
I don't see any Sinos.
Well, some provinces have like that's mountains.
Yeah, it's plains and mountains. So...
And that's forest and mountains and river. So, like, you don't know what's going to spawn
right,
in something that's forest and mountains.
I don't think you want to build... Oh, actually, if you take the province, you can see if you can recruit. You'll see right then, I think, by looking at the recruitment, if it's...
No, you actually have to build a fort, I think.
Ooh, if it's only some mountains and you want to... I don't think you want to build a fort before you know.
There is a way for Int players to know based on some bullshit that Hive will probably be looking up on the wiki.
Right.
I think you do have to build a fort to find out, though. But yeah, Hive is going to want to get Sinos ASAP.
Yep.
Both to be able to do damage and to have blood.
I think it was Waste? Or no, it wasn't Waste, was
Waste gives Giants for End.
And I think the Giants suck ass because they have homesickness.
Correct. You can use Giants basically to thug near the Waste province, but they don't give you any cool paths, and you basically can't use them as units.
Right. Hold on, what are we looking for again? We're looking for cave or highland.
I guess it's every cave, so End would want to get underground.
Yeah, but
he's not going to be allowed to.
I think the only accessible underground for Ind right now is Agartha territory, effectively. Well, there is...
Exactly.
This might be a separate cave, but this is outside Urik's cap circle. Yeah, this is a separate cave, but that would be very aggressive.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Hive to get any reliable cave access.
What was it? It was cave or highland.
And also some mountains.
Right. So it'd probably be... The Sinos would be here. Let's see. Okay. We have... Okay, I love this throne. 200 gold, and then the mage recruitment.
Any of the tier 2 thrones that let you do mage recruits are great.
Yeah, I mean, these paths are also great, and they're all astral cross paths.
Where is this throne? Like, who's going to be fighting over it?
It's in a swan, south of Yis, and Nabah, Pan, and Yis are going to be contesting this throne. Which, I get the feeling this throne might not be taken for a while. Unless Pan rushes it.
I don't think Pan is going to want to rush Lizard Warriors.
Yeah. That is a hard throne. Well... Oh, it has sprites, too. I will say the Light Cavalry will probably... Lizard Warriors, I don't think, have helmets. So the Light Cavalry will...
They don't have armor, either.
Oh, they don't have any armor, huh?
I think so, anyway. I think the, wild versions have no armor.
Alright,
if you zoom in, you can see if they're wearing armor. They are not.
Like it. They're naked, but they still do a lot of damage and they have high combat speed.
That they do. I think both Ys and Nabah can easily circumvent the damage with Clamor. So it's probably going to go to one of them.
Yeah. But they also... The sprites will also fatigue out, a small group of elite troops.
If they hit.
Right.
They are a ranged unit in Dominions.
Okay. Oh yeah, we haven't finished looking at the messages, actually. Marignon. I'm too cowardly. So he wants to build infrastructure and wait for his bless to come online. I think he'll probably be able to do that. I don't think anyone's going to rush Marignon. It's a famously...
Yeah, they're probably going to expect to be rushed by Marignon.
Right, exactly. You don't want to fight that cavalry if you don't have to.
Little do they know that there won't be much of that cavalry since they didn't take the skill for it.
Here's Nabah, which is Kaloth. Instead of a dormant god for better scales and bless, I went with a Awake Expander Jin because he's cool as fuck. Based. I will war the second person I see. Probably. Prefer to kill either chicken or dots because they slow the game down and dots zones out easily. Also, fuck Doggo. I will go underwater and kill his punk ass. I do kind of want to try warring Kodo once since I've never warred him. So he's pretty much just like declared he's going to war everyone in this message, it feels like.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
also, what does it mean, fuck Doggo? Isn't that Megapon that's underwater?
Yeah, Doggo is Hydra with Megapone.
I see.
Doggo is actually pretty decent at the game, so I'm hoping he'll temper Megapone, but also he might just not do anything and just be watching. We'll see.
Yeah, that could go either way. Who is Nabaner of these people?
He's... So north of Nabah is... We can check it. North of Nabah is Yis, which is Megapone plus Doggo. Neo is west of him. South... Wow, Agartha is south of him, so he gets a lot of free land right here. Like, this is...
Yep.
This is actually a big deal if he starts expanding here. He can be huge just because of his starting location. Same for Hive, too, if he goes east.
Yeah, we'll see if either of them capitalize on that.
Yeah, Pan. Yeah, that's actually... That's... Those... I think those are, like, two of the biggest things about this map. You don't want to spawn next to Yis, but you do want to spawn next to Agartha just because of the promise of land. And,
yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how expansion goes in that region, because, like, if one player expands aggressively in that direction, they could end up very large.
Right, yeah. Yeah, this is huge. Unfortunately, he did expand north. We'll see where Hive expands, but like if one of them just get lucky and expand over here, then maybe there's a way to infer whether Agartha spawned here as well.
There's no fog of war for anyone, right?
No, there isn't. They can see the map, so they can see what terrain types. So it'll be obvious like where Caelum spawned, for example. Plains and mountains, I believe. It always is.
Well, there's a lot of provinces that are plains and mountains. If you just click near actual mountain ranges.
Yeah, but it's they also have to have like 5 provs. You know, a circle with 5 provs. And I think
True.
Rignon is plain, Ind is plain, Uruk is plain. Not plains and mountains, just plains. Obviously, Nabah is waste, and obviously the Yis will be obvious. Nabah should be obvious because of the waste. But yeah, Pythium, people won't know this. Like Nid, Pythium, Uruk, a lot of them are hidden. I think Caelum you should be able to infer. Nabah you should be able to infer. Yis, maybe Agartha. Let's see what is above Agartha. 232. So it should be this. Is it this? Yeah, so you should be able to, well, yeah, I don't think any of these could be a cap. Like a swampland wouldn't be a cap. For the throne.
Forest could only be Pangaea.
Right, forest could be Pan. But I don't think because there can't be a mountain range and this is too many probs. So if they're sharp, they should be able to like just look at the map and see that Agartha spawn here and be able to, you know, expand over here.
That way we could end up with a very, very large player very early.
Right.
And both, or at least Nabah can leverage that pretty effectively. And this is very awkward to pilot.
Alright, so Kaloth with the declaration of war against everyone. So Kaloth he's one of these, I think I'm not sure if he'll admit it, but he's absolutely a vengeance player. I think, so Dots attacked him when he attacked... He considers Dots to have backstabbed him in a previous game, and Doggo rushed him and wiped him out because he had an underwater bless in a game. So I think he just has a grudge against Doggo and Dots.
Let's see if he builds any more grudges this game.
It is likely. Let's see. Uruk is next. This is Swan. And lo, it is said that from the celestial spheres above descended an Ep01 of infinite wisdom. He spoke to our scholars and said, "Rejoice, for your idle days in the temples and libraries come to a close. Today we join our minds in unison that we may unleash the wrath of God." And so it has said his name was Wogmaster.
I guess he has a research god.
Yeah, he has a research god. He's going to use Grand Communions, and he's planning on casting Wrath of... I guess he, like, set his whole plan here, so... He tested this a lot, and from what it looked like, he was doing really good expansion on Uruk, like getting up to 18, 20 provinces.
Yeah, Uruk is very good at expanding.
Right. The Berserkers are pretty much always... Like, even if you lose, you often win, because, like, a few Berserkers stay on. Or rather, you'd lose normally if you didn't have, like, the stray Berserker that just didn't route. Let's see. Next is Nid. This is where Drake. We hell-blessed, bud. Game plan is to find someone to walk like 40 Nidbethad over on turn 12. Holy shit. Hopefully I border someone I'm fine running over. Side note. Omniscience having an actual fort in Dominion is kind of crazy, but makes sense. I do think it's really dumb that its PD includes a big rock, as I think the nation should be trying to blend into the background as much as possible, and should allow other nations to walk over it to reach further provinces. But the big rock in the PD kind of prevents that unless you have a way to kill it, in which case you probably should just kill Omniscience at that point. The big rocks are powerful, but surely there are ways to smash them. Wouldn't it be really funny to take over the local news station? So I guess we're getting threatened here.
We are. It is also strange if, like, Omniscience appears on the map. I figured they would just put us in the void.
I think it does appear on the... We're in the underground in this isolated cave province over here. Oh,
yeah. You can actually reach that, which is interesting.
Yeah, you could teleport here with a thug.
You don't even have to teleport.
How could you reach it otherwise?
You can move through caves, like disjointed caves for some reason.
Oh, you can?
If you have enough map move. I think it treats, like, each of the non-existent provinces as just a regular cave that you can go through. So if you have enough map move, you can just walk there.
Really? What? I didn't... Doesn't that mean you can go between, like different cave systems?
It does.
What the hell? What the hell? Okay, that's not something I knew about. That's interesting.
I noticed that once when I think I was playing Xibalba, which obviously have high map move because they have flyers, that I could just fly into adjacent cave systems.
That is pretty elfy. Xibalba has like the stealthy flyers too.
They do. It also comes up if you have like 7-mile strides boots and researchers in a cave, and you just realize, I could just walk into this other guy's cave.
Alright, so whoever Nid borders is kind of a big... Oh.
I think Caelum is in trouble.
Yeah, I think these Hellblessed Nidbethad... I think these Hellblessed Nidbethad would absolutely, like, just destroy a Dracolich.
Well, Withering Weapons at least has a use case there. Since Wither is one of the few things that is, like, fully effective against Nidbathed.
25. Well, we'll have to see what the Bless is, but this is a 25 damage attack. If this is quickness, like, God.
If it's quickness, they are doubly vulnerable to decay.
Yeah, but, like, he doesn't have a very effective way of applying decay, does he?
I think the Dragon's Breath does it, doesn't it?
Oh, that would be crazy.
Can we check that?
I think he would have to expand in Dominion. Let's see if he has decaying weapons. He does. Withering weapons. Let's see if he casts with breath.
It looks like the breath is poison, not.
You did.
That's disease.
Yeah, it does disease, but does the bless apply to the breath? Would it show withering weapons here? Does age maybe?
They would be decayed, so it didn't apply to anyone.
Rip. So it might not work. So yeah, Nid is a huge threat. They kind of got like a super shitty spawn with this water over here. I think they can reanimate to get undead since they have death, so. I would be worried about this. You see this huge body of water, and then you see like 2 water provinces outside your cap circle. If he just rushes this, that would be really shitty borders. That would be hard to push them out of.
It would be absolutely terrible. That is something you would want to fight them over.
And there's 2 farmlands here. Like, rushing over here would make sense, I think, because there's also a cave here, which isn't connected to Agartha. Alright, so Nid has a Hellblast. We'll keep an eye on them. I would love to see them just run over Pythium or Caelum. Alright, next is Yis. Secret dossier information for omniscience. Do not read. I'm going to kill the first player I see unless they reach out to me and help me spit roast someone else instead.
That is average Megapunk gameplay.
Yeah, that is Megapunk game. Alright. Well.
I guess that's turn 2 and we can wrap it up.
Yep, I think
Take
that
a look
wraps
at
it
turn
up.
3 when that comes around.
We can talk about expansion thrones next time. Right. I'll see you around, Clowny.
See ya.